Welcome to the Valmark Back Office Heroes video podcast series. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer for the Valmark Financial Group. And with me today is Lizzie Modderman. Lizzie, tell us a little bit about what you do here at Valmark and a fun fact.
Yeah, so I'm Lizzie, as Geoff said. I help a lot with the fintech kind of role that Jess, when she left, we took over. So I work a lot with the DocuSign and Laser app, also with our IT team to build kind of new processes, I guess, to make business easier. Anything that you see on the ops forum that we do once a month, usually I'm the one testing it, making sure everything's good to go.
I've grabbed a few of your screenshots in my presentations.
Those are usually from me. Kind of behind the scenes, I am helping a lot with like the My Case Help email and the fintech inbox. So usually my name is circulating around there. I help a lot with like the workflow behind the scenes and really just problem solving as like a whole for not only our team, but externally with member offices.
Awesome. So what is your fun fact?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
I think you have a pet.
Yes. So my fun fact would be that I have a gray cat whose name is Gravy.
Okay.
And then he is my first kind of pet that's my own pet. So
Okay.
I actually have a gravy boat tattoo in honor of him. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've got your cat that you love, and you love him so much that you got a tattoo dedicated
Moralized forever.
Moralized forever. I love it. So I think you have a very interesting career at Valmark. So you started as an intern.
Yes.
And right out of the gate, one of the things that Valmark offers is the opportunity to get additional certification and education. And I feel like you went gangbusters out of the gate. Tell us a little bit about just like how you started your career day one.
Yeah, so I started as an intern with investment operations, and I've been kind of with operations team for 5 years in January next year. I started doing my SIE kind of certifications that I could take the 7. So started that while I was still in school because I had accepted a full-time offer a couple months before graduation. So
you didn't even graduate yet. You were already eyes on the prize, right? You were already thinking next steps.
Yeah, I think I had taken the SIE in 7 before I even graduated. So when I did graduate, I started on the 24. So I have those few designations under my belt. But
so you have all this industry knowledge, and then you actually started working with the IT group, which is a little unusual. People typically don't start working with us until they've, been at Valmark for a number of years. And I also think when people think about technology at Valmark, they think about maybe software developers, or they think about people on my team, but people like you are equally as critical. So maybe can you describe a little bit about kind of how you interface with our group and maybe the investment operations team?
Yeah, so either someone from a member office or an internal coworker will bring up a problem or just something that they think could be done better. We'll kind of vet that and say, well, what is the problem? And is that actually a problem, or are you just maybe not going about it the right way?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll make sure that it is something that we can enhance with either an IT build or just kind of making the process easier. So we'll vet that and then work through solutions with investment ops first, like what is a solution that we can come up with, and then bring it to the IT team with, this is the problem, this is our proposed solution, like what are your guys' thoughts? Is this a good idea? Mm-hmm. And then from there, figuring out what is the best solution, who can help with it, and what is the end goal and what is the end product going to look like. So along the way, I will help figure out the problem, help figure out the solution, and then also test it to say, this is doing what we expect it to be doing. How can we also train the team on what we're implementing after everything is done?
Yeah, so you talked about a lot of different stuff there, and I'm going to try to unpack kind of what you just talked about, because I think it's pretty significant at Valmark and what the advisor experience is like. So as problems come up, you're doing training for people possibly like, oh, hey, we actually already built this feature. This is how it works. You should do it this way. Or, this is a gap. This is maybe something new we haven't experienced before. Let me tee it up so that the IT people can understand it. Because we don't sit in your world every day,
right.
but you do. You're not in technology. You are in investment operations. You sit with them. you feel their world every day, you talk to advisors, you get the perspective of the customer, and then you help us architect solutions that fit. And then, oh, by the way, I don't know if people have used our tools, but well, they have obviously, but for the most part, they work. They work really, really well. And when we have new changes, you make sure they work. So our team will do some testing, some level of testing, but you do a pretty extensive level of testing before we actually release it out to the field. Can you talk a little bit about kind of that process you go through with testing, like all the different scenarios you run through?
Yeah. So depending on what we are testing, I will have like a OneNote, which is like a sheet of the problem and our solution, and going through step by step what my steps are to test it to make sure that everything is working as expected and the end product is actually solving the problem and not just kind of band-aid fixing it or not getting into the actual like nitty-gritty, like this is how we can solve this issue. And then I will work if needed with some of the people on the team just to make sure what I'm looking at is accurate, and then possibly build slides for the ops forum so that we can train the entire field, like this is what we're actually doing and fixing, and like this is how it's going to help you guys later on.
Yeah, so kind of whole cycle. So identifying the problem, teeing it up, working with IT to implement it, making sure IT did it correctly, and not just, and when I say you're not just looking for like an error or a bug, but like logically, does it make sense to our advisors? Is this flow going to work correctly? And then once IT's implemented it, creating the screens, doing the training for the advisors or people out in the field to make sure that they can actually use the new tools that we've developed so they get benefit of it. Because if no one tells them about it or they're not trained on it, they're probably not going to get the benefit of it. So you're kind of, I feel like the secret sauce behind a lot of this that people may not know about that happens all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've actually been at Valmark for quite a while now. So almost 5 years, did you say?
Yeah, 5 years, January 2nd.
January 2nd.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so very soon coming up here as we're recording this. Why are you still here, and what have you enjoyed most about working at Valmark?
I would say I love working at Valmark. I would say the culture and the people and the opportunities that I'm given are amazing. Like, it feels great to know that I am helping build things and train people and to problem solve things. I like working with people to help fix issues. So people coming to me with problems and having to come up with solutions, like that's kind of where I thrive. So it's been great, especially starting investment operations, processing business, and then being given the opportunity to work with IT and help solve things has been amazing. So the people also are great. Every day's fun and different. Everyone has little quirks, so it's really a great environment to be in.
We do, especially in technology, we do have a few quirks you fit right in. If you think about over the last 5 years, is there one story that really particularly stands out that you just had a moment where you're like, oh, I feel really good about this new feature I implemented or this thing I identified?
Really, anytime someone brings a problem and we can solve it for them and then say like, hey, we fixed this for you, and they are just grateful, it feels awesome. Like, you're like, we did it, figured it out, like this is awesome. Yeah. So that's every time that happens, and it happens sometimes often. So
yeah, it does. You have actually helped create a lot of magic around here. So, and to your point, the people we work with are grateful and appreciative of the work that we do. Awesome. Thank you, Lizzie, for joining us today. I'm Geoff Moore, Chief Information Officer for the Valmark Financial Group. This has been the Valmark Back Office Heroes video podcast series. Stay safe.